Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in it. Today's topic is going to be Google it. You see, a lot of people have addressed me and have said, you could have avoided a lot of your problems if you just Googled it. Or sometimes when I want the answer to a question, a lot of people come to me and they're like, just Google it. This has actually got me in my feelings recently, so that's why I need to address it. And I want to say this to all of you. Google doesn't have the answer to everything. It's a search engine. It's not God. Number one, for the record, I did Google the people that scammed me first before I actually did business with them. I also Googled the businesses that they owned and the businesses that they said they worked for before getting scammed. And it did not help me. It did not show me what I needed, because if it did, then I wouldn't have done business with them to begin with. If you want more detail, please pick up my book, The Perils of Real Estate Scam Alert, and you'll see the different people that I had to deal with and what they did to me. Okay? I found out information about them on other websites that I had to pay for, but not on Google. Okay? Next, the second thing I want you guys to know is if you were to Google me personally, you're not going to find a lot of the things that I've done. It's not that I hide it, it's just that it's not there. And to be quite honest with you, I'm in the middle generation. I'm middle age, right? And all of the people that I deal with, that I roll with, that I hang with, that I do business with, they're actually not on social media at all. And the few that are on social media, they don't even really use it that much, to be quite honest with you. And now that I'm doing videos, podcasts, and what have you, sometimes they'll praise me for what I do and they'll relay information to me so that I can relay it to other people. But they themselves don't want to start a podcast. They themselves don't want to do Facebook Live videos or YouTube videos. They'd rather have me do it for them. Don't ask me why. I mean, I know why to a certain extent. To a certain extent, there is a fear of invasion of privacy, if you will. I have also been told that I need to be careful what I say because, people get jealous and they might try to kill me and what have you. So I know that that is one of the reasons why they don't come out. But that's neither here nor there. Moving along. The next thing is sometimes when I Google, when we come to property investing in sight unseen, I know that a lot of people do use Google to look up the picture of properties that they're interested in. Or, they'll rely on the realtor. Here's the thing. When it comes to investing in certain places, Google is not always up on it. Well, here's what I mean by that. If you go to Google Maps and you do a search, let's say for my house, for example, it doesn't show what my house looks like currently. It shows what my house looked like a couple of years ago. So when you do go on Google Maps, make sure you use it properly, because a lot of people are not. A lot of people don't check the date. It gives you the date of when they took the last time they took a picture of a particular property. And what I've noticed is that when you're looking at property that's sort of like in the heart of the city, that will have the most current picture. But when you look at property that's away from the heart of the city, it could be in the city, but it's like not midtown, not downtown, but let's say it's uptown or what have you, it's not going to have the latest picture. Why is that an issue? It's an issue because if a property burns, let's say the last time they took a picture was 2011. Between 2011 and 2019, a person could have added an awning. The property could have burnt down, or it could have flooded. You're not going to see that in a picture from if the picture is 2011. So you need to get somebody, a boots on the ground person, that you can send out to inspect the property for you, to take pictures of what the property currently looks like. There are some realtors that you can ask them, can you just drive by and take a picture? And then you have other companies who can charge you a small fee to do that for you. It's best to do that, honestly, than to completely rely on Google, because this is what I found. Sometimes Google also does not give you the correct directions to get from point A to point B. Recently, I was traveling and I needed to go to another location. It gave me the directions, but I forgot to write down what stop on the bus I was supposed to get off. So I went back on Google to get that information. And what it did was it gave me a new route to use altogether. And I was just so frustrated and so upset. So I got up from my seat. I went to the bus driver. Unfortunately, the bus driver did not speak any English at all, because I was not in the United States. I was in Portugal. And he was like, no, he couldn't help. Luckily, my brain was working, and I said, just say the name of where you want to go. The name, and it was a particular church that I wanted to go to. So I gave him the name of the church, and then he said, okay. So sort of like with sign language or whatever, if you will, we figured out I needed to get off here. And the reason why that helped me a lot is because where the stop was not in front of the church. It was like the stop is like at the side near the back of the church, facing the garden. And then if you go to Google Map, you're not going to get that part. It's just going to show you the front of the church. So I would have been looking for the front of the church, and I wouldn't have been able to find it unless he and another passenger who did speak English was able to tell me, okay, this is where you need to get off and go. And the one that did speak English, the passenger, she told me to go across the street over there. And once I crossed the street and went around, that's when I saw the church. Because the way the bus was coming down the hill, you wouldn't have been able to see it. So Google, when it comes to directions, sometimes it's not accurate. The next thing is this. Sometimes when you search for something on Google to find the answer, you'll get different opinions. And you don't know if one person is telling the truth or if one person is lying, or, Google doesn't help you with that. Google just shows you the different opinions. Or it'll just show you the two different statements that are being made. You actually have to be the one to decipher which one is true and which one is false. Plus, I've also seen where there's been misunderstanding on the internet. Then you have like information that gets deleted. For example, I had a website up. Actually, I had two websites up, and I took them down. So if somebody wanted to go back and find information that I had put up, they're not going to see that anymore. You see? So that's another reason why to say, you got to depend on Google for the answer. I have an issue with that. Another thing is this, especially when it comes to trying to find answers. I personally do not have time to do some searches for certain things. Case in point, the whole Harriet Tubman movie. Someone said that the actress, the leading role, Harriet, made some disparaging remarks. I asked, okay, what was the remark? She said, Google it. I was a little bit pissed off because you know why? When you are the one that's making the accusation, you are the one that is supposed to provide the proof. You are not supposed to tell the other person that they need to look for the proof. If you have it, show it. But I said, all right, you know what? All right, I'm going to Google it. I'm scrolling through 3 pages of Google and I still don't see the answer to that question. Okay, what was actually said? I don't have time for this. I own 2 businesses. I'm having some issues in my business. I'm doing podcasts, videos, all of this stuff. I don't got time to go through 6, 10, 20, or however many pages to find what this chick said. And she probably deleted it also, on top of all of that. So no, if you have the proof, it's on you to prove it. You need to show the receipts, the video, the contracts, the pictures. When you go to a judge, I hope you don't tell him to Google it. What you gonna say? This one did this to me. Okay, what's the proof? Google it. He's gonna throw you right out of court. You gotta prove it. So it's the same way. If you make an accusation against somebody else, you're the one that has to prove it, not the other person who's looking for the answer. But listen, let me just lastly say this. I'm not against Google. Google is a helpful tool, but it shouldn't be the only tool and the sole tool that you use to make all of your decisions. That would be very bad. You have to know that Google has its limitations. And sometimes when it comes to, especially when it comes to real estate, you need to dig a little bit deeper and depend on a little bit more than what Google gives to you. All right, folks, that's all I got for you tonight. Hopefully the information that I have shared will assist you in making wiser decisions. Feel free to share this. Remember, each one, teach one, reach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.